Hello, welcome to the mantelpiece in my bedroom. This is the area that we are going to be transforming today. I recently redid my bedroom, which included putting up this wallpaper. As part of the redecoration, I purchased this beautiful electric fireplace, and my plan was just to put it in front of here. But then I got to thinking, what if I tiled this? And what if I tiled the ground directly in front of it? And then I found this tile. It's so beautiful. I found this tile on Facebook Marketplace. I got so unbelievably excited. The project just expanded before my eyes. So we're finally gonna tackle it. Let's move over to this chair to talk through how I'm gonna do this, because I've never tiled anything. Before we talk about strategy, the process, and what the hell that pie plate is, we're gonna talk about today's sponsor, who is Book of the Month. Book of the Month is an online book service for readers. The way it works is simple. Their team vets hundreds of books every month and choose special titles from new, emerging, and popular authors. You then pick one of those books and it gets sent straight to you. They have a great skip policy, which means you can skip any month for any reason at any time for no fees. This month, I picked The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz, the story of a writing retreat for horror novelists that becomes a horror situation. So if you want to check out Book of the Month, my link is down in the description. You'll get an excellent discount code. Thank you so much to Book of the Month for sponsoring this video. Now let's dive into the project. So I was really inspired by these fireplaces I was seeing on Pinterest. And one of the things that I loved was the fireplaces where they had built in a cavity and tiled it all, and then the new little fireplace was sitting inside. So I wanted to know if that would be possible here. The answer is no. My dad and I decided to look into it, and it took us literally all of 1 second for us to realize that this is concrete and that this was never an open cavity fireplace. It was just this tube for a wood fireplace of some sort. There clearly was and is a brick fireplace. It goes up to the attic, but they've cut it off and it no longer exits the roof line. They rebuilt the roof over top of it, and so it would be thousands of dollars to fix something that I don't really want. And for all the people who are wondering, what is this pie plate? This is a cover. I didn't put it there, it just came with the house. So the stage is set, it's time to start tiling. So I was like, what would make this easier is if I bought like a piece of thin plywood, which I discovered this thin plywood when I created my miniature box in my dining room. I found this really thin, beautiful plywood. So I was like, okay, if I got a big sheet of that, and then I just tiled that, then I would just like put it in place and I could just drill it in and it could just sit there. And that way, if I ever wanted to change it, if I ever needed access to this again, it would be really easy because I wouldn't actually be tiling onto the wall. It is now time to cut the wood to size and place everything there and make sure it all fits. And once it does, we can go on to the next step.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I will.
Oh, I think I got the tape. Progress! Okay, so we have all of the pieces cut, and we got to spend some quality time with the ducks. That really made all the difference, I think. But yeah, the pieces are all here and I'm already seeing the vision. I'm so excited. Once the tiles are affixed to this and affixed to this, it's all gonna hold together fine. So I'm just gonna glue them together. I don't care if it's really strong or anything. It's just to keep it in place while I tile it. And you might notice there's a little bit of warping going on. That I'm not worried about because the weight of the tiles will keep everything down. Also the weight of Duraflame. Hello everybody, welcome to the next day. So today it is time to do all the things I said I was going to do yesterday. Starting with gluing these pieces onto this piece. I don't think this will be difficult. I just have to center it. So this piece is exactly 48. So the exact middle point is 24. There we go. And then this piece is, please be even, 35. Well, fine. Half of the 35 would be 18 and a half, right? Am I crazy? I think it's 17 and a half. Well, you can do it here. 17.5 plus 17.5. It's 17 and a half. And then I just line them up and glue that. I'm gonna be using my mom's beans to keep these even. Okay, a little bit of time has passed, so I feel like it is pretty solid. It needs, you know, some time to keep on drying, but I feel confident spinning it. Well, I said confident. I dropped a can of beans. I misunderstood where the edge of the table was. What I'm now gonna do is very lightly sand the edge of this thing. I know I shouldn't sand inside, but because it's so small an amount and because it's so cold outside, I feel like I'm selling beans, but anyways, I have finished sanding. And now I'm going to apply a little bit of pre-stain to this edge. Basically, like I'm pretty sure some of the very edge of this thing is gonna show right at the front. And I want it to look good as it can, and to match the floor upstairs. So, to the best of my ability, I'm gonna do that here. Okay, what, am I recording? Big question. Okay, now for the most visually, nice. Okay, I'm staining it now because it's been a while. Okay, the stain is looking great, and now the final step is to do some polyurethaning on it to make it shiny and glossy. Where the heck did it go? Okay, we're in my back room to talk about the next step, which is cutting tiles. I'm realizing this is showing the French side. Fun fact for all my non-Canadian friends in Canada, everything has to have an English and French label. So that's that. So because I'm renovating my house and my parents are also renovating their house, and because my dad just loves tools, we went in on this wet tile saw together. And we're really excited to try it out. So I've never used one before. I don't really understand how they work, so I'm going to be learning how to use this thing and hopefully cutting tiles really well. Okay, it's the next day and it is time to finish cutting the tiles. So we actually did quite a lot of it yesterday. You can see we basically have these edges done and they look so good. They look fantastic. So it is turning out how I hoped. However, here are my thoughts on tiling. I'm not a fan. I'm not really enjoying the process. I just find it quite finicky and a little tedious. The tile saw is working great. It's cutting the lines really well, but because we have such a small, oddly shaped tile, it's a little finicky and it's very loud and slow, and so I prefer sanding wood. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mark off all of the remaining tiles we need to cut, and then I've been putting them in this box. I take them out, we cut them all, then I bring them back, wipe them off, and place them all. And then once everything is in place and it all looks good, I will actually glue it all down. Wow. What we did to install the back plate was pre-drill holes into the plywood, then do some countersinks so that the screws would fit below the wood level, pre-drill into the concrete, you can see the brick dust coming out here, and then simply screw the plate on so that I could then cover those screws with tiles. Okay, everyone, so I was really hoping that this would be a victorious moment. In fact, however, it is a tragic moment, which is very common with home renovations and DIY. You think you're right at the finish line and then something has gone wrong. So basically, we miscalculated when we cut this piece. So basically, there's now a gap all along here because this guy can't push back enough. Thankfully, it looks so beautiful. It's a little dusty right now, but it looks so beautiful. I know it's going to be worth it, but I feel sad. I feel quite sad because I really thought that, I was basically done. So there was a process of trial and error fixing this. At first, we thought I needed to take off all these tiles and we cut the wood, but what we realized was that we needed to remove the base plate from the back. So I removed it, we got rid of it, and then we could proceed. And I moved into doing the grouting, which I've never done before. And quite frankly, I made a bit of a mess of, but in the end, it all works out. So there's a first time for everything. And now I know how to grout, and I think I could do it in a less messy way. Okay. We did it. It's done. Oh, wow. Okay. Whew. The project is finished and I honestly could not be more thrilled with the result. It looks so custom, fancy, and beautiful. And I'm thrilled with it. It turned out to be so much more work than I imagined, which is what happens with every single project I take on. But I think it's good that I keep having this bizarre resetting naivete, because I keep thinking, oh, it'll be simple, and I dive in, and then I have to finish it, and then I learn something. I'm really glad that I made it modular. So you can remove the fireplace, and just as a little statement piece, the tile looks beautiful. But then you can also remove the base plate it completely detaches. And that way, if you wanted to put a piece of furniture there, or you had a different idea for how to lay out this room, that would be totally possible. And then the back plate, this part, is only on with a few screws. So you could, hypothetically, if you wanted to in future renovate this room or change it up, you would just have to chip out this tile, that tile, and one other tile, pry them out, and then unscrew the thing, and it would all just come right off. My house has a bunch of these mantelpieces, and I am now so inspired to go to, for example, my dining room that has a beautiful mantelpiece, and I think it would look really good with this same treatment, with choosing another beautiful tile, tiling this, and it just stands out. It looks so, oh God, guys, I hope that you like it as much as I like it, because I'm just absolutely thrilled with it. I also realized that grout doesn't come off of hands very easily. So my hands are covered. My nails are all broken. It's a mess, but it's always a mess, and it's always worth it. So thank you so much to everyone for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. The final thing I need to do in this bedroom is replace this light. And so that is going to be an upcoming video where I'm going to do a little antique shopping. So stick around if you want to see that and all the other projects coming up. Thanks so much again for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.